Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an episode of the Northern Block Podcast. It is Monday, October 27th, 2025. I am your host here, Nordic97, joined with LeBlock James. LeBlock, how we doing?
We've been better. We coming off a couple World Series L, and then bad day for football. But a great day, great weekend for hockey all around, though. Great weekend for hockey.
It was a great weekend for hockey. It was a great weekend for hockey. We also have producer Tim. Tim, how we doing?
Doing good. Like James said, it was a good weekend for hockey for both these guys, but other than that, we just don't talk about football. And, well, Lions had a bye week.
Yeah, at least there couldn't have been bad for you.
Can't lose a bye week.
Yeah, can't lose a bye, that's for sure. All right, so we got a lot to talk about here today, so let's hop right in. Starting off with a trade that occurred this past week. The first, I would say, real trade that we have to talk about here in the 2025-26 season. It starts off with Lukas Reichel being traded to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for a 2027 fourth-round pick. Reichel had 58 points in 174 games played with the Chicago Blackhawks. This season with the Blackhawks, had 4 points in 5 games played before being traded to Vancouver. So Reichel was obviously drafted in 2020, had a lot of upside, but never met that in Chicago. He is getting a new change of scenery, and sometimes you see that with players where they go to a new place and they work out, but sometimes you don't see it. So what's your guys' evaluation on Lukas Reichel?
Why wasn't every team that needed forward help calling Chicago for this? Why is this just happening? Why is it always Vancouver who gets this, like, it's a player has upside, hasn't worked out, then they go to Vancouver. Like, it seems like it happens all the time, but it's a very good move for the Vancouver Canucks. I like it. It's not good. It's a fourth-round pick's a fourth-round pick. Like, it's either you hit on that fourth-round pick or you don't. There's no in between.
Yep.
They're good, or they're not going to make the NHL. I think you're not going to get a player in the fourth round that's better than Lukas Reichel, at least in the meantime. So it's good for them. Chicago gets rid of a guy who's honestly struggling and probably needed a change of scenery. So it's good for both parties there. But I think in Vancouver, he's going to be very good, solid, probably middle sixer.
Yeah, I would say so. He is currently playing right now against the Oilers. So far in 2 games played with the Canucks, though, has 0 points. Tonight has 9:58 time on ice. Does have 2 shots on goal, so he's starting to contribute there offensively. There's 1 period left in the game as we're commentating this. But I look at a guy like Reichel and I say, that's a guy who needed a change of scenery. And you look at his time with Chicago, you look at his AHL numbers, he's put up very good American Hockey League numbers with Rockford for the most part, and has been good with how he's been playing down there, but in the NHL has lacked the consistency and just lacked the talent. But again, Chicago, not that great of a roster. They're going to Vancouver, which is a better roster, I would say. So I'm expecting them to improve. What do you think about this, Tim?
Yeah, I think it was a good deal for Vancouver. I like that deal more because I feel like there's still a lot of untapped potential with Reichel. And I think James and I can both agree. We were both really high on him in the draft. Both of us are still a little upset that neither of our teams walked away with him after having picks before Reichel got taken in that second round. Yeah, I feel like with Reichel, whether he got the opportunity to play with Bedard or not shouldn't matter because there weren't a lot of options in Chicago, so he was expected to be that, and he just never developed into that. So a change of scenery was due for him, and late, like 4th to 7th round picks, they're just magic beans. So that's basically what Chicago's hoping for, is they can try to hit on something later, but you're not going to know for another 3 years.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Again, just like he didn't really have good line mates there in Chicago, didn't really have much to build off of. And not to mention, too, you guys are forgetting that he wasn't with the greatest of coaches either. Like, his coaches were not the greatest coaches in the world.
Yeah, there's that.
Richardson, whoever was there before Richardson. Oh my God, what was there?
Jeremy Colton.
Yeah, Jeremy Colton there too. So again, just like, didn't get that many great coaches there either, and guys who would work with him. And even under Jeff Blashill's system, he worked out 4 points in 5 games played. But Chicago decided, there's better places and better players we could hand that roster spot to, and they decided to move on from him. So there you go. All right. The NHL canceled the Olympic send-off event. Now, this was an event that was going to be scheduled before the Olympics. It would take place at UBS Arena. It would basically be like a NHL public media day, essentially, where the fans were open to come to this and talk to the players and stuff and do all these media interviews and stuff like that. Obviously, it was canceled because why would they bring all these players to UBS just to ship them back off to Europe afterwards? It didn't make a lot of sense. So any thoughts on the NHL canceling this? By the way, I should say they are getting an all-star game at UBS in 2027, which boo.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I have no idea this was a thing until it got canceled.
Really?
I didn't know this was happening until it got canceled. Like they canceled it. I'm like, what? So what's that? Like I didn't know this was a thing.
Really? Okay.
It wasn't marketed that well, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, it brings me to my next point. Did you guys probably know that on Tuesday is the Frozen Frenzy, right? You guys probably knew that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically, Frozen Frenzy, all 16 teams play. Have you seen anything about promoting this?
Nope.
No.
There you go.
I mean, that's the NHL. That's the NHL in a nutshell, though.
I left that out of
good ideas, but crappy advertising.
If the NHL had the NFL level advertising or just had good marketing, this league would be so much more profitable, and we would see players being paid so much more.
Yeah,
I've seen more marketing about Prime Hockey on Prime than I had the Frozen Frenzy. And the NHL's doing it also. They always do it at they do it early in the season, always. And it's always on a Tuesday because you got to compete with the MLB playoffs. You got to compete with college football, the NFL, the NBA. So they do it at one of the most non-opportune times to do it. Like if they did this after January on
do this in March during the playoff race. That would be the perfect time to do it.
How about this last day of the season?
Oh.
So they should do it more often. They should do it more often.
What's that? What did you say? Sorry.
Do it more often. Do it once a month, once every 2 months. Make it more.
That would be a good idea too.
How the NFL has Red Zone? It's every Sunday. The NHL.
I will say this. This is their second time doing it this month. They did it earlier in the year, and nobody seemed to notice. It's on the first Saturday of the year. They did have all 16 teams play, but it wasn't like a Frozen Frenzy
at all. It's just it's opening weekend.
Yeah,
or
that's the story of the NHL. It's shitty marketing.
Yeah, if they had better marketing, they would be in a way better spot as a league. And I feel like we're starting to find that now. But even when the NHL opened up their season, I saw some people saying, wait, the NHL starts today? What the hell, people?
Up here, we all knew what opening day was, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I meant, everybody in America was like, wait, what? You guys started today? Whatever. Yeah. I wanted to bring that up because it frustrates me with the way that they are not talking about... the Frozen Frenzy and things like this, and the way they don't market things. It's very frustrating. You just gotta.
I'm gonna ask you this real quick. Who do you blame? Do you blame the NHL or do you blame the networks that are not marketing it? Look at ESPN. I don't get that up. I don't get everybody. I don't really.
ESPN hasn't really marketed it that well either. So it's kind of a little bit of both. Neither side is really marketing it that well, but in general, the NHL it took the NHL until the last 2 years to start finally marketing Connor McDavid.
Well, then again, he finally got to the final for once. So
there's that too, but still.
ESPN has been bad at covering a lot of things, not just the NHL, though.
This is very true.
I will say this. They do an absolutely garbage job at baseball coverage. It's terrible. Yeah. Like, the league commissioner even came out and called out the ESPN for them not covering their league enough. And they're paying
ended the TV contract.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the contract's over. And they're not going back to that. So there's that. I feel like it's a mix of that and just the NHL being, I don't want to say behind the curve, but it does kind of feel like they are behind the curve in terms of like actually marketing. And this lies on the teams, this lies on the league, the networks they work with. Like, NBC Sports was great, but I didn't know if it was like the biggest network you could go with. Like, again, Canada has Sportsnet and all that stuff. They got the big market company up there. That's like the only company that's there besides TSN.
TSN.
Yeah, TSN. Yeah. That's pretty much it, though. The NHL is like on pretty much like a dozen different sites. Like ESPN, they're on TNT, they're on, FanDuel Sports Network. They're on a bunch of different other places. It's complicated. It's complicated to keep track of everything, promote it all. It's hard.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok. It was like breaking it down, like the revenue of each league. And it said, like, with the NHL, because there's not like this giant media rights deal. This also applies for the MLB too, but there's not this big media rights deal. So every team is worried about like media regionally. Whereas the NBA doesn't deal with it as much, but the NHL and the MLB have to really focus more on their regional media rights deals because the national media rights deals aren't as big as they should be.
Yeah, and I think that's going to change with the direction that the NBA is going in compared to the direction that the NHL is going in. I think we're going to start seeing a change there in that, but especially over the last, like, I would say 20 years, like, it does feel like the NHL is a little bit behind the curve in their marketing realm, and a lot of different things, actually, in my opinion.
Argue that there's been an argument that the NHL isn't even a top 4 sport in the United States anyway, where even the MLS has better marketing than the NHL does, and frankly, that's someone who doesn't deal with that problem as you guys do. That's kind of fucking pathetic. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kind of
100%.
It is a little pathetic, yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, I get it. Like, they're in the football more, they're in the baseball more, they're in the basketball more. That's fine. But they got to be a top 4 at least. Like, they're the lowest of the 4, and it's pretty lopsided between.
Like, we're not to make a pun here, but we're fighting with the UFC to be like a top 4.
Yeah, honestly. And I mean, again, like, I think we're getting better at it. Like, the league is growing, the revenue's getting better, everything is improving. At the same time, though, they're still way behind the curve from where they could be. So they're making their way up, but it's still a long way to go before they're where, MLS even is. And LeBlanc, you got a good point. Like, MLS is miles ahead of us. Like, I even still, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With the way they do their marketing. And again, that's because, with the MLS, I know, like, again, I know Europe, like, that's a whole different thing, but Europe does factor into MLS. People from Europe do follow the MLS, obviously, so there's that.
Helps there's also Lionel Messi in the MLS.
Yeah, that's it.
There's that.
And I was going to say this one last thing before we get really off track. I think this all falls on the shoulders of Commissioner Gary Bettman. And that's
100%.
And Bettman, you did a great job. I'll give him some props. You did a great job promoting the game, bringing it south of the Mason-Dixon line. You expanded it. You did a wonderful job there. It's time to let someone else take the reins. That's just going to be my take. He's in his 70s. I know that.
Gotta be.
Like,
he's close to 80 at this point.
Go be with your grandkids, and just hand it off to Bill Daly, or get someone else on the outside.
Yeah.
I know the fire Batman thing has been on front for years, but I'm trying to bring it. It's He's been the only commissioner of the NHL ever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
ever.
It's time for a fresh voice for hockey.
Yeah, definitely. Gary Bettman is 73 years old. We did discuss last year, LeBlanc, about a potential retirement, but that's not till another 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, again, I did want to discuss that. I left it out of the notes on purpose just to get your guys' raw thoughts instead of thinking about it, and that turned out pretty good. So good on you guys. All right, we're going to go around the league here and talk about some teams around the National Hockey League. We're going to stick in the Pacific Division. We're going to go back to Calgary, the Flames. Now, they did win last night at the time we're recording. They won 5-1 against the New York Rangers, which is a whole nother problem in itself. But they are still last in the NHL, 2-7-1, 5 points, a -14. They have only scored 21 goals, which is the lowest in the league. If you tally that up, that is just over 2 goals a game. The second lowest is, ironically enough, the New York Rangers. So there you go. But the Flames, Dustin Wolf said in a quote, "I can't generate offense." And that is just so true. You look at Dustin Wolf in his last couple of games in Calgary, he's put up some awesome numbers. Now, his overall stats aren't as good as they could be. I'm just going to be honest. A .886 is not that great. But look at these last 5 games. 968, 871, that's pretty rough. .929, .926, and then a 737. That wasn't that great. But 3 of those 5 games above a .925. It's not he's not the problem, as we obviously said. But anything you guys want to discuss here with Calgary as we head into this next half? They still keep losing.
I just want to ask one thing before I get into the Calgary thought. Were the Rangers at home?
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Oh, okay.
It would have made it a lot funnier if they were.
It would have made it so much better.
No, they weren't.
Okay, anyway, Calgary, it's almost like they didn't do anything to change their forward core. When
They didn't.
The biggest problem for Calgary last year was also generating offense. And I look at this Calgary team, and man, they scratched Coronado today.
They did. And I mean, we talked about how the problem, they didn't change anything. We beat that to death in the last episode. I don't want to go into that much. But yeah, Coronado being scratched only has 3 points in 9 games played. I mean, I don't think that's a shot at Coronado. Like, he's not playing good, but nobody on this team is, honestly, except for maybe Kadri or Blake Coleman. I feel like this is Huska trying to send a message to the locker room, to be honest with you.
I feel like you look at this Calgary room and you always say, like, coaches of, especially the coaches of, like, teams that are, like, on, like, you know, trying to get out of that rebuild, or, like, they're not really in contention. They try to do this message where it's like, if you don't work hard enough, I will scratch you. And I feel like that's the message that's being sent. You don't want to work for it, I will put you in the press box. I got no concern putting you in the press box, having someone else take your job. And I think that's the message being sent by Coach Ryan Huska. Yeah, but Wolf's giving them, like you said, 3 out of those 5 games. That's above 925. Those are not like, oh, that's average. That's like a really, really above average. Those are almost elite numbers for a goaltender these days. So the fact that you have an elite goaltender and you can't help him generate that, like, goalies can't generate offense, unless sniz from the point, sniz from the crease there. But no, they can't generate. So you have to find a way to make it work. Put the lines in a blender, juggle them. Calgary has so many young players. Call up a fresh face. Like, they need to figure this out, and if they don't figure this out, it's going to be a very long year.
Expected goals allowed on ice per 60 minutes. Coronado is second on that list, 3.6 goals allowed. He has a -9. He's been brutal. Again, I mean, there's no denying that. You got to improve for sure. I look at the Flames here. What are guys on this team that you think Calgary, come the trade deadline, if they're in this spot or even they're a little bit better, who do you think they should trade?
I mean, Tim start with this one.
You got to. Before I go any further answering your question, Evan, I just want to shout out the goalies for actually speaking up, calling out their teams this year. Justin Wolf being the second one. You had Stolarz in Toronto. We beat that situation to death last week.
We did.
Then you have Wolf now basically like, I'm doing and he's just like, I'm doing all I can back here. You got to give me something. And they're just not giving him anything. And yeah, it's the same. We talk about teams who need offense. Why was Calgary not in on this Lukas Reichel trade?
Yeah.
Like, how were they just nowhere involved?
You would think, like, I mean, look, I feel like this is. I feel like a lot of it is just like Conroy. I think he wants to put this team in a rebuild, but I mean, again, as LeBlanc said, maybe ownership's not letting him do that.
If you're going to go into a rebuild, owners have to sign off. And Calgary's owner doesn't seem like somebody who wants to sign off. But to answer your question, guys that you could see getting dealt, there's Rasmus Anderson. He's like, I feel like as good as gone at this point. There were rumors about him at last deadline. Yeah, he's got a foot and a half out the door already.
Yeah.
I could possibly see Kadri, but who in their right mind is going to take that contract?
Kadri has after this year, like, not including this year, he has 3 years left at $7 million.
If he was a little bit younger, he's 35. He'll be 36 when that third last. Like, it's not great value.
I'm just gonna interrupt you, Tim. I feel like a guy like Blake Coleman would be a perfect trade candidate for Calgary. He does have one more year left at 4.9, but Calgary could easily eat half of that and trade him away.
Yeah, eat half of that, move it, try to move him, try to get younger. If you're gonna be in this mushy middle spot, at least try to be younger. Let the kids play, and who knows what happens. Maybe the kids come in, maybe you get some of these younger guys to come in and they start scoring goals more. You never know, but you got to try something.
Yeah, very good point. We saw last year in a seller's market, we saw players who should not have gotten first get first. Like Scott Lawton for Nikita Gurbankin and a first-round pick might go down as one of the craziest trades.
Yeah, that was
one of the worst trades of deadline history. I'm not going to get into that, though, but
Brandon Carlo for freight, they're all Leafs trades. Anyway, Blake Coleman, if it's a seller's market, you could get a first. Even if it's not a seller's market, you could, like, he has 5 goals already so far this season, 6 points. He leads Calgary in scoring. Like, I feel like at 4.9, Calgary could eat that up. He's only 33, so he'd be 34 heading into his 35th year, and there's not a ton of risk to it. If that's the case, then you can just flip him off somewhere else. Like, I'm really, like, that would be their biggest guy right now for me, besides Anderson, I would say. But Anderson's not been the greatest, though, in the world.
No,
like,
he's having a bad year to be traded. And with Coleman,
he had a very bad year last year, and he's already adding on to it. That also,
and it's getting worse.
What he was.
Yeah, he's a little bit. I like Anderson, but I fear he's a little bit overrated.
Rasmus Anderson, dare I say, Noah Hannafin merchant?
That might be true.
Another guy I could see them moving off of, and this is only if they get enough of a return for him. I could see a guy like Morgan Frost being moved.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really, and I'm going to be honest, as a Flyers fan, I don't really know what value was there. Like, I mean, last year with Calgary wasn't the greatest. He already has a third of the points he had last year with the Flames, so maybe you could get a return for him, but, like, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But, like, I don't know how much you get for him. Joel Farabee's kind of the same thing. I don't know what you get for him either. He's more expensive than Frost. I don't know. Calgary's in a weird situation where they really don't have that many trade assets.
Yeah, Frost is on half point per game pace right now, so he'll be off 41 points. You look at a guy like Farabee. Farabee has 2 more years after this year at $5 million. I don't think that.
I don't know if that's movable.
Especially because didn't Farabee struggle when he got to Calgary last year?
He did. He only had last year. He only had 6 points in 31 games played.
Yeah. So,
my
19 and 50. I mean, again, like if you could find him a suitor to where he could play the way he played in Philadelphia those first couple of years, then it would work out. But he's really struggled. Like,
I'm gonna say, if you want to really kickstart a rebuild, know who's a player who many teams are going to be asking for.
Dustin Wolf.
No, not Dustin Wolf.
No, they wouldn't do that.
I mean, they're not going to. No, they just signed him. I don't know. I mean, I was just throwing a name out there.
wasn't going that route.
You're not going to trade Wolf. They just signed him to 7 years.
Yeah, I'm going this route. Mackenzie Weegar.
Yeah, Weegar's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And Weegar does have like
for a while
7 years left. But here's the thing. I think players would take that deal. Teams would take that deal.
Yeah.
He's got 5 years left after this year on that contract.
Oh, yeah. 100. A lot of teams would be all over that deal. I feel like that's a guy, like James said, if you want to kickstart this rebuild, Weegar's a guy you can move and get a lot for. I feel like he's probably your most valuable asset that you have, outside of the only one who you're not going to move.
Exactly.
Dustin Wolf's the only one who's untradeable in Calgary.
I don't know. I'd say Jonathan Huberdeau is kind of untradeable.
Yeah.
I don't think you're trading that thing.
I meant more of an untouchable. Like they're just not going to move. Huberdeau, that's not trade. Nobody in their right mind is touching that contract.
For Huberdeau, I feel like you would have to ship out a first or a second, not even a second. Like that's
you'd have to add it'd be a first plus, like almost like a Zane Perek or something. And
unless it's for like a bad contract for a bad contract. That's the only way I could see it happening.
But then what's the point? Like, what's the point if it's a bad contract you're getting back in return?
So when I went to Calgary, I talked to people about Jonathan Huberdeau, and they referred to him as, quote, the $10 million man. Like, that's how they talk to him about when he's not producing. Oh, there he goes, doing cardio, the $10 million man out there.
Yeah.
Stealing away from our money.
Yeah, wrapping it up here with Calgary, I mean, they do have 2 first-round picks this year. If they could, gauge the market, try and, maybe move away some players, I think that, you could set yourself up pretty good here. I feel like they're still a ways away, but again, as I said in the video last week, they could use a player like a Gavin McKenna-esque, or like a star forward.
They need
an Ivar Stenberg.
Ivar Stenberg.
If they got that, then I'm way higher on this team.
Another guy I feel like they could have used last year, and maybe depending on how he would have done last year, he might still be in Calgary. Anthony Mantha. He played 2 games for him, and then he tore his ACL. And now you look at him in Pittsburgh, and he's actually playing well.
So that's a good transition there, Tim, because we are going to talk about Pittsburgh next, and Mantha would be a good acquisition there with Calgary, and he got injured, just didn't play. So that being said, let's transition over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins have put together a pretty good stretch of games here. They are 6-2-1 for 13 points. They're top 5 in the National Hockey League. Now, again, I do want to say that it's October, so I'm not buying into this crazy. However, you look at how this team's playing and who this team is playing. First game, they play the Rangers. They shut them out. They play the Islanders. They beat them. They play the Rangers. They lose 6-1. Then they go on their California road trip. They lose the 1 game to Anaheim. They beat LA. They beat San Jose. They go in there. They beat Vancouver. Then they go into Florida, at Florida, 5-3 win. Then they lose to Columbus in a shootout, which is fine. You get a point. But what's really noticeable here, and I want to see if you guys can guess this, what is one thing that is really noticeable about the Penguins and how they're playing?
They're getting goaltending?
They're goaltending, yeah. She loves.
Yeah.
Even Jari, both of them have been really good.
Jari actually remembered how to stop pucks.
Elobs, 3-1-1, 2.56 goals against, .914. Jari, 3-1, 252, .921. Keep in mind, and we can go and look through Jari's stats last year. Tristan Jari might have had a .700 at this point last year.
Last year, Jari wasn't an NHL goalie.
Jari had a shutout this year against San Jose. In Jari's first 4 games of the season last year, let's read these off. First 4 games of the season last year, 850, 893, 400, .868. First 4 games this year. Sorry, I got to go back into it. It just glitched for me. First 4 games this year. 9-1-9, 8-1-8, which is, it is what it is. 4 goals, 20 points, whatever. 1 shutout, .919 against Florida, by the way. Like, the difference is night and day, and we should have expected at least a little bit of a bounce back because you really couldn't get that much worse than that past year. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. As a goalie, you can speak for that, Tim.
Yeah, like Jari wasn't going to be as bad as he was last year, but to be as good as he's been this year, it's also kind of shocking. And then, but also at the same time with Pittsburgh, I feel like their offense is overperforming a little bit. Like, you've got Justin Brazeau, who's third on the team in points. Pretty sure he's first on the team in goals, too.
Yeah, he's been awesome. What else?
He's second on the team in goals behind Crosby. But, like,
what do you notice about the leading scorers for this team? Who has turned back the clock?
Oh, it's the big two. It's the big two. It's Mantha. Not Mantha.
Whoa.
Wrong name. I'm looking at the list. Mantha's fourth in points, but it's Malkin and it's Crosby. It's the two guys who have carried Pittsburgh for years. They said, "Screw it, we're turning back the clock." They found the fountain of youth.
Yeah, and keep in mind they said to Malkin, they said this is going to be your last year. So that makes it even crazier.
Malkin's probably like trying to prove not so fast, my friend. This is not my last year. I've still got game left.
Still got gas in the tank.
So respectfully, in Pittsburgh, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah.
I look at this team on paper. On paper, they look like they're big booty cheeks. Like, on paper, they do not look like they're
they look terrible.
Playoff team. But the results are kind of happening, and I want to give. I think we should give props to their coach, who is Dan Muse.
Has been great.
Dan Muse, for getting them off to this hot start. I don't know if it's going to last. Raquel has gone under the knife. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he is injured now, so there's a
So there's a big loss for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I want to see, like, we come back here next month. I want to see if they're still in contention for the Wild for a divisional spot, because if they keep this up, it'll be a very good story. It will be a very good story. It'll be the shock of the year, because I think a lot of us said Pittsburgh would be bottom 5.
Yeah, we expected them to be pretty bad. Again, like, we are 9 games into their season. So, like, I don't want to move any or go crazy here just yet, but we're 9 games into the season. I do want to mention, and when you guys look at their Puckpedia or their cap wages, it's interesting. You look at all the draft capital they have, first of all. In the second and third round for the next 3 years, they have at least 2 picks in each round. So there's that. You look at their upcoming UFAs and RFAs heading into this coming offseason. Malkin, Hayes, Mantha, Achari, Lizotte, Tomasino, Brazeau, Dewar, Koivunen. On the defense, you have Dumba, Clifton, Shea, and then in net, you have Blomqvist and Shelovs, all expiring next year. So you ask yourself the question, I don't think Kyle Dubas wants to make this team, go for a playoff spot. So you ask yourself a question here, who would they trade of these guys?
Once again, it's been 9 games, so we need to just, calm down. But let's say it goes how we think it's going to go. You can't tell me teams wouldn't be letting up, hey, Malkin's there. Well,
they would look. If Malkin is at this pace, they would look.
Yes.
Yeah. You'd have to look at moving Malkin.
Yeah. Kevin Hayes is on IR. I don't see him being, even if he was healthy, I don't see him being moved. Mantha will be moved. Achari will probably get some looks. I don't see Lizotte getting much interest. I can see guys like Brazeau. He's on a 2-year deal. Brazeau could get moved. Brazeau only makes 1.5.
Yeah, you could get a good haul for him too for that amount of money.
Yeah.
And then we
as a wingspan, I'll put I'll say the guy who's been in a bunch of rumors connected to us, possibly a chance Erik Karlsson could get dealt if things go off the table for him. Because I know we were like almost all preseason, we were linked to him.
We are at that point where like that contract has almost 1 year left.
Exactly. Like they could retain half. Granted, I don't know if the ownership group, Fenway, I don't know if they'd want to do it, but like you could easily retain half of that contract and then move it because it'd be like a year and a half that you're retaining, so it'd be what, like 5.5, 6?
Yeah, exactly.
Which you could probably stomach that for 1 year. You would get a lot back for 1 year of Erik Karlsson at $6 million. Granted, he's not Erik Karlsson of old, but like
he's 35.
1 year at 1 year at like $6 million. A lot of teams would want that on their back end.
He's still got it offensively. Like
offensively he has that. He's a black hole defensively, but like offensively, teams would want that.
Yes,
$6 million for him.
Yes, and
not.
I'm gonna say Fenway. You have Green Monster money. You can afford to eat a little bit. Like, come on.
They have Liverpool money, James.
Yeah. They have Liverpool money. Yep.
They've got even more money than we think because of Liverpool.
I think their biggest trade asset is still Malkin because Carlton. It's what if?
Carlson's a year left after that too. Like you're getting terms for that.
Yeah, and then I think Clifton will get some looks too. Like they can go on a full fire sale, and you could argue with me. Oh, the biggest trade asset doesn't want to be traded. Well, yeah, but that's not going to happen.
No, it's not happening. We need to get that out of our system here.
I've always said, I think me and you said this constantly. I think I've said Crosby cares more about his legacy in Pittsburgh than he does about winning another Stanley Cup.
Yep. I totally agree.
Piggyback off that legacy thing you said, James, because if he cares about legacy, like my thought is this. What if like he's gonna pass Mario and be the all-time leading point getter in Pittsburgh? We all know that.
He did already.
Oh, he has?
He did recently, actually, yeah. Like last week, I think.
So now that he's done that, what if like it gets to, if not this year, because I don't think he's going to get moved this year, like off season maybe. It's like, well, I've done almost everything I can. Do I think it'll happen? No, but maybe he knows. Hang on, let me look at Puckpedia. Letang. Okay,
I'm going to play the devil's advocate here. What if they get first overall and they get Gavin McKenna?
There's that too, because
then I think you could do two things here. You could either keep Crosby. They'll be the best mentor a young center could ever have in their life. Or
remember this. Mario Lemieux played with
Crosby's mentor.
Yeah. So
the other option is you move him. You get McKenna, you move him.
Yeah. But
or you buy him out. I know that's crazy to say.
The Rangers bought out Lundqvist.
Yeah, like
I mean, because that was the thing in the offseason with Pittsburgh that everybody was talking about. It's like we all made the jokes. Oh, Pittsburgh's going to finish like bottom 7 or whatever, and then they're going to get first overall because Crosby's about to retire. Like everybody made the jokes like it was going to be this like rigged draft where Pittsburgh was going to get the first overall pick to get a guy to replace Crosby in Pittsburgh. And now they're playing well, and it's like, I don't know, Pittsburgh knows what they're supposed to be. But if you're a Penguins fan, you're elated at the start because Penguins fans didn't expect them to be this good. So, will they keep this up? I don't know. I doubt it, but I've been wrong before.
Yeah.
You've had enough joy. All right, it's time to suffer.
Yeah,
I'm still petty and mad about 09, so screw you guys.
Yeah, almost 20 years later, you're still upset about it. I'm a Flyers fan. What am I going to
do? I will say, I think Crosby, especially you say next offseason, I think Crosby would rather retire than be traded.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could easily see, especially since Pittsburgh kind of told Malkin, like, hey, this is your last year. I could see Crosby and Letang, like, right, going off with him. I think all three of them will go at once.
All three can
If
retire.
one's going, all three are going.
Yeah, I can see that too. I don't think this sustains itself. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I mean, Arthur Shilov is great and all, but again, we said this on the Nordcast and we talked about it there. Like, with the Penguins, you either need to be bad or make the playoffs. If they just barely miss, it is a waste of a season. If you make it, then there's that.
100%.
You made it. There you go. If they are bad, then there you go. Okay.
I'm going to point this out. In 2015-16, the Toronto Maple Leafs were on the verge of being, mid-tier. And they tore it all down. Deadline, they tore it all down.
Traded everybody.
They finished worse in the league, and they got the first overall pick. Because they went all in on getting that first overall pick. Because they had a decent prospect pool already, so they could tear it down and bring up the kids. I feel like with Pittsburgh, especially if they start to win a lot, like if they're next month, if they're winning more, I could see them moving somebody.
Yeah, this might be the worst possible thing that could happen to this team.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
100%.
be honest with you.
If you're at like a month out of the deadline and you're in a playoff spot, you cannot convince me those players are gonna like it, are gonna accept the fact, we got to have a trade people. No, they're gonna want to buy in. They're gonna want you to go out and do nothing.
Exactly. So, and again, I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if we see this team be on a playoff push because Crosby's there.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked. So to wrap up here with Pittsburgh, I was watching a Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins game between the Lehigh Valley Phantoms and the WS Penguins. And you know who I saw in that game? Take a guess.
Rutger McGroarty.
No, well, yeah. Ryan Graves is down there in Wilkes-Barre. Did y'all forget that?
I did.
That contract,
Yeah, kind of.
That contract is terrible. My God. That contract.
Forgot about that guy.
That was a 5x5, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Remember, he had some good seasons with New Jersey, and then there you go. Remember last year he went, so long without scoring a goal? He went 60 games without scoring a single goal. It was it was voodoo. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He was just not good last year.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So let's move into a team here that nobody on the networks talked about. And this is one that me and LeBlanc, it's going to be a hard conversation because we put so much hate and disrespect into this team this year. And that is the Seattle Kraken. 5-2-2, 12 points to start the year. They have been awesome. They just came off of a win against Edmonton on Saturday night. And I want to start off with this. I streamed that game. The Kraken not only look good, they look way more competitive and like a completely different team under Lane Lambert. I just want to say that.
They definitely look more structured in their play. So,
and that was something we despised. We hated that hiring.
We hated the firing. We hated the hiring. We hated the draft pick. We hated the GM move. We hated everything about Seattle. And now they're like, fuck you. No, we're gonna be good now.
Oh yeah, because their GM's Botterill.
Yeah, their GM's Jason Botterill. Oh my gosh. So right now, leading their team in scoring is a tie between Jordan Eberle and Jaden Schwartz. Both have 8 points through 9 games played so far. Matty Beniers, 1 goal, 5 assists for 6 points with the team. Chandler Stevenson, 5 points as well. You're getting production from a lot of your guys. You saw guys in your fourth line scoring. There's only one player on this whole roster who does not have a point in games played for Seattle. That is John Hayden. So that's notable there. In net, Joey Decord doing Joey Decord things. Philip Grubauer doing Philip Grubauer things. Anyway, I'm appalled. Not gonna lie. I'm a little bit shocked by the start. Just gonna be honest with you.
I'll say this: you said Grubauer's doing Grubauer things. No, the hell he isn't. He's going back to Colorado. Grubauer, goddammit. He's okay. the save percentage isn't good, but he's got a 2.12 goals against average. Where the hell did that come from?
That's true. That's way better than what it was before. It's only 2 games, though. I just want to put that out.
Oh, okay. I was going to say his save percentage is under 900.
It's only 2 games. I think he's injured. Either that or he got sent down to the minors because Matt Murray.
No, it's neither. It's Seattle's running a 3-goalie system because their third goalie is Matt Murray.
Right.
They're running 3 goalies. It's Decord. Then they're flip-flopping between Grubauer and Murray, but it's Decord most of the way.
That's right.
They're running a 3-goalie system, and it's somehow working for them.
How do you guys feel about that? Because we see 3-goalie systems sometimes, and sometimes they work out.
Last year in Montreal, and it didn't work out the greatest.
I saw it in Detroit, and it didn't work.
Yeah, Detroit had it. Ottawa had it for a portion last year, too, where they were running.
We tried to run it at the start of the year with Husso, Lyon, and Talbot, and just didn't work. Granted, it didn't help Husso turn into a pumpkin, and was Husso and sucked.
We're getting off topic.
We are, but the point is, 3-goalie systems typically don't work, and to go to the fact that they're somehow
I gotta be honest with you. This feels like a one.
It's mostly been Decord, but
it's been Decord.
Matt Murray played a game?
Matt Murray played 1 game. He lost it. But he had a .909 during it.
1 game he has 30. He somehow has more saves in 1 game than Grubauer has in 2.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little shocking. Again, for the Kraken to be starting off this good, they're such in the middle to where it's I guess it's okay. I don't know what to think of this. Not gonna lie to you. I'm happy they're starting off good. Shane Wright doing great. Berkeley Cadden's been looking good up there. When I watched the game last night, Cadden 4 games played, 2 assists. You see the creativity from that guy. That guy's got real creativity.
He's
and great
so
skill.
good.
He's awesome. And I don't know why people let his size out him. Just going to be honest with you. People really were down on him because of his size. I'm tired of that narrative, by the way. But I don't know what to think of this. Just going to be honest. I don't know what to think of this.
I don't know if this is sustainable or not, but I don't think it is, but when we've seen it with the Islanders under Lane Lambert too. Nobody thought that team was ever going to be good, and when you play to a system and you play to that system well, when you play to a system and you play to that system well, even if you don't have the superstar guy, everybody's bought into one system, that sometimes overtakes the whole, we don't have a superstar level player.
Yep. Pacific Division standings currently. Vegas, Seattle, Los Angeles, they fight their way back into there. And then Anaheim, all in playoff spots right now.
It's such a bad division.
It's so weak right now. Now, keep in mind, we are making this between Edmonton and Vancouver. That game's still going on. So the divisional standings will be changed. But, man, Seattle up there, it feels weird. LeBlanc, what do you think of this whole streak that Seattle's going on here?
When you pick up Berkeley Cadden, I just get tears in my eyes. So,
because you still are a big Yakimchuk guy though, so
yeah,
it's fine.
Love Yak, but yeah. When I think of this, I think that how you're so mad. How dare you be good? How dare you be good now? And just because you got mid forwards, you got mid defensemen, you got pretty good goaltending.
Wow.
But how dare you be good? How dare you do that? I look at this roster, and you have some good vets here. You have some good vets and young players. That's a good mix, though. But the quality of those vets isn't the greatest. The quality of the young guys is pretty high. Looking at this team, dare I say, it's been 9 games. Dare I say, this could be a dark horse.
This could be. Team. They feel like a group of misfits, in a way.
They do.
Don't you look at that and see, Jordan Eberle, who's what? How old is he?
Eberle,
he's got to be 35.
He's 35
years old, yeah. I hit that on the dot. 35 years old. Jaden Schwartz, got to be like 33, 34.
Jaden
33, look at that. I'm headed on the dot. Like, you have your group of misfits here, like Beniers, like 22. Yeah, I'm hitting it on the dot. I didn't even predict this. But, like, they have their mix of older guys and young rookie players. Like, they could make a run. They could. Like, I mean,
I'm gonna be down in here though. You look at this team, and let's say things go off the rail. Let's say they go back to what we thought they're gonna be. They have 4 quality forwards they could sell and get a pretty good return on. Those forwards are Jaden Schwartz, Jordan Eberle, Mason Marchment, and Ellie Tolman. They're all UFAs after this year.
Yeah, and those are good rentals too. Like you could really make a case for that. And they got
McCann, who has 1 year left at $5 million after this year.
They talked about that last year. They weren't really into moving him. We discussed that on the MVP last season. I remember that. So I don't know about that, but I do like the other options there for sure. So there you go. I mean, like, again, Seattle, I'm a little bit shocked in how they're playing. I don't think this is sustainable, but they do have Tampa's next 2 first-round picks too. So, like, they have draft capital.
They do.
Where they can build something up here.
Those picks protected.
They are top 10 protected. So, like, right now, Tampa would get that 1 pick. But anyway.
Since we brought it up when we were talking about the standings, just Edmonton and Vancouver now tied at 3 with under a minute left in the third.
Yeah, so we'll get an update on. We'll probably update that.
We'll have the end of the game during the pod.
Yeah, but I think for the Kraken, like I would love to see them make it because I like Seattle. I know we spread so much hate, but I like Seattle.
Yeah,
I don't know if they can make that.
I love you. I want to be good so bad, but it's so. I want to be good so bad, and yet, like,
make it so hard.
It's always like it's like having your dad come to your game, and then you just put up the worst performance of all time.
Yep.
And then you get back to the car. It's like, get in the car. Like,
pretty much.
My bad. Sorry.
Pretty much.
And
we'll see.
They're just one of those teams that nobody knows what's going to happen with.
I don't know if this is sustainable. Like, I would love for it to be, but I don't know or think it will be.
I think Seattle's more sustainable than Pittsburgh.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%. I will agree with that.
It's mostly because they're better than Pittsburgh, and I think they play in a weaker division.
That's true. That's true. Well, that being said, moving on then from the Penguins, we got to talk about a team that LeBlanc, I don't know if you want to talk about them. Your New Jersey Devils, LeBlanc, the team you predicted to miss the playoffs. I hope you're holding up the Febreze because of your standings pick. The Devils are first in the National Hockey League right now, 8-1-0, 16 points. The team they are tied with is the Mammoth, but the Devils have the same amount of points in less games played, so therefore they are higher in that ranking. The Devils have been awesome. They lost their first game of the year to Carolina, and ever since then they have been lights out. Jack Hughes almost averaging a goal per game, 12 points in 9 games played. Jesper Bratt still doing a great job there too, 11 points in 9 games played. Dawson Mercer, Timo Meier, both just under a point per game. You see a guy like Connor Brown, 5 goals. Jake Allen, by the way, with a injured Jacob Markstrom, 1.93 goals against average, 5-0, a .923. Ew.
Is that going to be turned towards you, James, for your prediction, or no?
I don't spray myself. I shower, so.
Fair, I guess, but.
Oh my
God.
I'm going to be a dick.
Oh,
Who
no.
Played? Who played?
Fuck. They beat Colorado today.
Yesterday, it's like, they're cooking. They just beat San Jose. I'm like, let's just. Like,
okay, LeBlanc, you want to look at the games before that? They played the Oilers. They played the Panthers. They played the Wild. They played the Maple Leafs. They played the Blue Jackets and the Bolts.
All mid.
All pretty good teams.
They're all those are all pretty.
Usually, they're all pretty good teams.
Those are all pretty good teams. Yeah, I'll give them. I will give them Florida. I will give them. I'm not giving them Tampa. I'm not giving them Toronto. I give them to win those games. I'm not giving them Edmonton either because Edmonton in October is just in shambles. But the rest of them, I will give to them though.
So you're going to give them one game, is what I'm hearing.
I said 3 opponents.
Well, you have to look again. I understand that, like, you want to see, and I know we've said this with a certain team, like you want to see them play actual opponents, but at the same time, you got to win your games against your bad opponents too.
You do, yeah, and that's important. I'm still not sold on New Jersey though. Like they're on a heater right now. I want to see it be sustainable. We say Pittsburgh and Seattle. They're more sustainable than those two teams, but I want to see it continue because last year New Jersey got off to a very hot start, and then they faltered down the stretch.
Well, I'm going to say this. There's a couple of factors that I want to bring up here with that. Tim made a really good point. I think it was either last episode or 2 episodes ago. He said that you can't make the playoffs in October. You can certainly miss the playoffs in October. And it's important to get off to a really good head start because especially if you're off to a really good head start, you could be like 500 the rest of the way and still make the playoffs. That's what the Devils did.
Yep.
I'm not saying that that's the right way to go. And if we're talking in terms of like, am I favoring this team as a cup contender? If they're healthy, sure. If they're not like they have been for the last few years, I'm not exactly leaning on that. So I'm going to say that. But this good start, I feel like, should not be painted as, are they talking about the future? You should look at the present and be like, you should be very happy with the way that they look right now. And I feel like, maybe down the road they do get average, and that's something that they need to sustain. 100%.
I think the most impressive thing about all this for New Jersey is that they're doing, like we said, they're doing this without Jacob Markstrom.
Exactly.
Who, for most people, is a top 10 to 12 goalie in the NHL most years.
I think I had him 13 around there somewhere.
Yeah, around there. Like, does Jake Allen just think he's playing the Detroit Red Wings every game?
We know that.
Hands up, I'll be honest. The guy owns us. Anytime we play him, even if it's a game that the Wings somehow win, Allen makes like 35, 40 saves. The guy just goes back to rookie or young years in St. Louis, Jake Allen, plays his best hockey. He's got a goals against under 2 right now at a 1.93. He's got a .923 save percentage. Like, he's playing great. Jack Hughes is playing like the stud that everybody thinks he is. Him and Jesper Bratt are an insane duo. Can they keep this up? For their sake, I hope so. Because the Devils, when that whole young core is healthy and playing well together, they're a fun team to watch. Like I just said, though, the problem is, right now they're still healthy.
Yeah.
The problem is, can they avoid the injury bug that has plagued them year after year?
Yeah, and it's a mix of the injury bug, but it's also a mix of them just actually playing consistently good hockey. And I feel like that was a massive factor in why they were lower in the standings last year than they should have been. I think if they
lost Jack Hughes for half the season?
Last year, yes. I think if you can keep your consistency throughout the entire year, even if and I know they're starting off really good, but even if you're not that good, if you're a little bit, if you're good but you're not great for the full year, I feel like that's better than being great for half the year and then being terrible for another half. Would you guys agree?
Yeah. You want to stay more even keel and consistent, not up and down for everything.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Uh-oh.
It's October. This will come out for me when we hit January. At the earliest.
We're gonna need this clipped just so we can go back on it at some point if we have to.
So you're still not bought into New Jersey, LeBlanc?
I will not be bought into New Jersey until I see a full month of them competing.
Okay, then.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm not.
Okay.
They're a good team. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm just saying I'm still not sold on them. That's just my opinion. Respect my opinion.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? We'll respect your opinion. That's fine. We'll respect it. That's fine.
Because here's the thing. If I'm going to get Febreze for that,
right.
I'm going to get Febreze for the Devils, you got to get Febreze for Pittsburgh.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just the same logic, so.
That's fair.
I mean, didn't we all have Pittsburgh being bad, though?
We did.
Yeah, but
you were the only one that didn't, LeBlanc. Or LeBlanc was the only one that had Devils out of the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and by a pretty decent margin, too.
I'll put it like this. If James deserves Febreze for the Devils, I deserve Febreze for having the Kraken finishing last in the Pacific.
Well, and again, we are way overreacting here. I know we are. We're going to look at this podcast and be like, man, these guys are idiots. But
it's
a good start.
Can we please calm the fuck down?
A good start, though, always is good.
It's important to start fast. So I'll give the Devils that.
So they go on their California road trip next. They play Colorado again. If they can win both those games, then that's pretty damn good. I will say this though. This is their first 8-game winning streak since 2022. Which is a little surprising.
That was really one of that like 13-game heater.
Yeah, that was the streak. So it's a little interesting there. But yeah, the Devils, we'll see if they can sustain this, but overall I think they'll be able to, and we'll prove LeBlanc wrong. All right. So moving on now from that, it is time for Tim Egler to take over in his Tim's NCAA corner. So Tim, if you want to read off your rankings from 1 to 5, it's a pretty interesting ranking filled with a lot of Michigan.
Yeah. Hang on, let me pull this up. Yeah, it really is. So if you're a college hockey fan in the state of Michigan, you're having a good time right now. It doesn't, unless you're a team of like teams up north, we're not worried about them right now. They're not really that good.
No.
But the big three teams in the state of Michigan, they're having a season and a half. Two of them had a great series this week. Western and Michigan played this week. Both teams won their games at home. So you had to go through this week's rankings. For the first time all year, I don't have a new number one.
Really?
Michigan State, I still have as the number one team in the country. They went up north to Marquette and took care of Northern Michigan in both games pretty handily. For Michigan State, both goalies got a start. Augustine got a shutout in game one, where Porter Martone was a big factor for us. I think he had points on 3 of our goals. And then in game 2, Melvin Strahl, Columbus draft pick, he got his first collegiate start and got a win there. Then I still have, in number 2, I'm keeping Western. Yes, they lost the first game at Yost to Michigan, but they bounced back in a big way on Friday at home at Lawson, which is one of the toughest places to play in the country for college hockey, and they won that game. So I still have Western at 2. Then at 3, I have Michigan, which pains me to say. Hurts me to say that I have Michigan at 3, but you beat Western for one of the games. I can't deny that. They finally got their first loss of the year this year. So Western deserves to be 3. Then I have Boston University down to 4. They lost one of the games this weekend to UConn, and they did not look good at all. I think they lost 7-4 in that one. It was but that's BU early in the season. They have stinkers like this. And then rounding it out at 5, I have Penn State at 5. Penn State's I almost had Penn State out of the top 5 because they've been shaky against not so great competition in Stonehill and Long Island. Like, those are teams, especially for Penn State to be a national title contender, like the sports books still have, which that's a whole different story. But for Penn State to be as like this highly touted team, they should not be struggling with teams like Long Island or Stonehill. So I'm gonna drop them a little bit down to 5, but conference play is going to be picking up soon in the next week or two, which is only going to be great because first week in the Big Ten we have Michigan State, Penn State in East Lansing. I'm going to be attempting to go to one of those games to see that. So
I would like to speak upon Penn State and say my thoughts because I'm a Penn State fan, as people know.
Let's have it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I'm definitely like a little bit concerned with the way they're playing against these teams. The thing is, though, is like they're still beating these teams. They're still winning, which is fine. I mean, you're not going to blow out everybody every single game, but the fact that you took until like 33 seconds left to beat Long Island in the one game, it's not great. It's not. And I feel like we need to see more like better play from this team overall. And maybe they're just not finding a way to score. Maybe that's what it is. And the guy they have there right now in net, I can't think of his name. I'm not that big of a fan. I'm blanking on his name.
Riddler.
Sergeev.
Kevin Riddler. He's a Sens prospect.
Yeah, Riddler. Compared
don't ask me who the other guy is because I don't know.
I think he's a Minnesota prospect, the other guy. But Sergeev, not having him is different. He was great last year for us, a big factor in that.
He's the main reason you guys made the tournament last year.
Again, it's October, so like I'm not like concerned. It's still got a lot of time to work this out,
we're a few weeks into the year.
Maybe it'll take some time, but I'm not overall concerned right now about it. But I understand the ranking, and I respect the ranking. Like I get it. I totally get it. So I will leave my point at that. Anybody who has been really good, like in terms of players, I know Corrado's been really good. William Horkoff, picked by Pittsburgh, has been really good for Michigan as well.
Horkoff's been good. Serrato's been good. The guy that I have his team making their debut in my top 10 as well, but the guy that I've been really impressed with, I've been impressed with for twofold. One, he's a wings prospect, but Max Plant at Minnesota Duluth has been an absolute stud this year. I'm pretty sure he leads Duluth in points. This past weekend especially, he took over those games against Minnesota. And he was a major factor in why Duluth was able to win both of those games.
Yep. Totally agree. 100%. There you go. That's your college hockey talk for this week. All right, let's get into the hot topics around sports. Where do you guys want to go first? World Series or the NBA FBI scandal?
I want to say one thing before we start that. So, the NCAA currently, they banned a tradition that I think is timeless. Uh-oh. And this is why I brought this. What is this, Evan?
That looks like a burrito blanket.
It's exactly what it is. It's a burrito. And after after touchdown, Tim? It's like after touchdowns, the students in Lubbock in Texas at Texas Tech, they throw tortillas on the field.
Oh, after the opening kickoff.
Excuse me. And the NCAA banned it, though they have been called for a lot of delay of game penalties because of the tortillas. And they took it away from us.
That's cruel. I didn't know that, but that's cruel.
It is cruel, but at the same time, I understand why it happened.
Understandably
I'm not
cruel.
a fan of it, but I understand why it happened.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love whipping tortillas at players. It's my favorite thing to do.
I mean, fair.
Imagine,
who doesn't love throwing a tortilla?
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I guess you guys want to start off with the World Series first. So
Yeah, we can
here's
go into
the
that.
interesting component about it. So obviously we're split 1-1 right now. Here's the interesting component. By the time we return here, the World Series will be over. Next week. The World Series will be over next week. Regardless of whether it goes 5, 6, 7 games, it'll be over. So I want to say that first, and then I'm going to let LeBlanc talk away here because he's the Blue Jays fan. And I haven't really, I'm going to be honest, I haven't really had time to watch it. I'm just going to be honest. I haven't really had time. So LeBlanc, take it away.
Somebody play Creed. Game 1 was electric. Game 1 was, I was at my job, and we got all our work done, and we're all in the back room watching the Blue Jays game on my phone.
On your phone.
Yes. And it was electric. Like, I had something to do. I was holding the crate like this. I wasn't going to do the rest of my job until they had a comfortable lead. Because in the States, I saw they had bases loaded, no outs. Like, oh, I got to turn this on now. And we had my supervisor, my 2 coworkers, my other coworker were all in the back. He's like, I guess I'm like, Blue Jays are on!
Grand Slam.
Oh, man, I never screamed so loud at work. It was electric. That game, and the one thing I don't like is that, oh, they're celebrating like they haven't been here before. I'm like, yeah, we haven't been there in 32 years. Let us fucking celebrate a win. Like, come on.
You're not allowed to celebrate any win at all? Like, what the hell?
Blake Snell played okay for the Dodgers. Savage played pretty decently. Our bullpen came through in a big way. Game 2, the vibes were off. The vibes were off. Because, you know why we lost Game 2? Because the Maple Leafs were in the building. That's why we lost Game 2. That's the only reason why, and I'm pinning them on them, and especially Simone Benoit. It's your fault.
Did you know that after they were done with the game, they went to the Blue Jays game. It took 30 minutes later. Half hour later.
Yamamoto played out of his freaking mind.
Could have told you that was going to happen.
Like, I knew he was good. I need to apologize. I was not familiar with your game.
Yeah, you're like not a top 5 pitcher.
Gautham played decent though. Like, he wasn't bad at all. It's just that Yamamoto is better. Just
what's a solo homer
still?
Hard to outpitch a complete game.
What?
I said for Gausman, it's hard to outpitch Yamamoto when Yamamoto goes the full game.
Game 3 is going to be the tipping point for this series. I feel like whoever wins Game 3 might win the series. If I'm being very honest right now.
If LA wins Game 3, I am I'm very worried.
I feel like if LA wins Game 3 and Game 4, then
it's over. It's over. Wrap it up. There is no way. I'm telling you right now. There's no way.
If they win 3 and 4, I don't think it gets back to Toronto. If I'm being straight up honest with you,
it might get back to Toronto, but I don't think they win it.
They're not. No.
This team was down 2-0 to the Mariners. This team was down 3-2 to the Mariners. Yes, the Mariners and Dodgers are 2 completely different teams, but this team has faced adversity.
They have.
Yes, the Mariners are not the Dodgers, but it's the same thing.
It's not, because the Mariners aren't the Dodgers. Like, I'm just,
the adversity standpoint is the same.
Confident in them winning 3 straight. I'm not. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not. I don't think it happens.
I want to ask you this: what are some of the greatest in the finals upsets in sports? When I ask you this, I immediately go to 2016 in the NBA. Cavs Warriors.
Yeah.
I go to I want to think of an NHL one where the underdog won the cup, but I really cannot think of one.
St. Louis over Boston in 2019.
Boston, yeah, that wasn't upset, but it wasn't of like the extreme magnitude that it was. But that's a big that was an upset. You look at MLB, the Cubs were down 3-1 to to Cleveland.
Also 2016.
Yeah, also 2016. What an elite year in sports, by the way. But and then you look at football, I would say
Giants against the Patriots in.
I would actually say
12?
I think
Was that 2012 or 09?
Yeah, 07.
Yes.
Yes. Also, I would say if you want to go recently, I would say the Buccaneers over the Chiefs was a pretty big upset. I feel
With Tom Brady as the quarterback,
I know
that wasn't an upset.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady.
Philly over the Patriots in 2017.
What a
18.
year.
18, yeah.
I was 18.
What a year.
But yeah, you look at those upsets. They all had to face some sort of adversity.
Yeah.
I believe the Blue Jays will win this series. I believe if the Blue Jays go down 2-1, so be it. They go down 3-1, so be it. If they go down 4-1, well, it's over. You can pack it in. But
yeah, it's over.
I feel like this team will get the series back to Toronto. I have full confidence in them. I also feel like, and me and Dylan were talking about this earlier, the way that Dodgers gets 3 straight home games, I think that's kind of bullshit.
It's the way it is.
It's just the way the MLB is.
It's travel-wise. I get it for travel-wise. I get it, but I always grew up where it's like, 2-2-1-1-1. Not the
that's
2-3-2.
That's always how we were raised.
Yeah.
Not this.
Yeah,
not
that's how we were raised with hockey with the.
Well, that too. We're not playing.
1-1.
We're not playing 3 straight days.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
In the NHL, like what kind of BS is that? We had like 2-day breaks.
Can you imagine that? Like 2 straight days? Oh no, fuck rest.
Oh my
just get out
God.
there.
Oh my God, no. I mean, I'd be fine with it, but like, no.
Get some ice on that and get the put some ice on that and get the fuck back in.
Those players would be dead. They would be dead. So, yeah, the World Series, it'll be over by the time we're done with this. LeBlanc will either be bursting for joy or it could be a depression episode.
I'm not gonna lie. If the Blue Jays win and I'm at work for one of the games, I'm pretty sure if they win, I will streak naked down the streets of Ottawa.
What?
You heard it here first, I guess, guys. That's a quote and a half.
Top 5 most out-of-pocket things he said on the podcast.
Jeez, I feel like that might be top 3.
Listen. If the Phillies won the World Series,
I ain't freaking naked.
And they were not the favorite to win the World Series.
Evan's not. I feel like he might start trying. He might climb street poles, but I don't know if he'll do what you said.
Yeah, I'll climb street poles, even if they're greased. I'll climb the street poles, but I won't streak.
All right, I will not streak naked. I will probably just be running around a lot.
You know it's going to be.
I'd hope you wouldn't do the first part.
And
all right, I'm going to move on.
Right to Tim's house.
There is no easy way to end. There is no easy way to move on from what that comment was, but we're going to try and find that.
I don't know how we do it. We'll find a way.
We're going to go to something more serious from the World Series. We're going to talk about the NBA FBI scandal. So there was, I think this was on Thursday of last week, Wednesday of last week, where the FBI made some arrests involving Heat guard Terry Rozier and Chauncey Phillips, both being arrested from their jobs. Rozier, Heat guard. Phillips was the
Phillips
coach. Phillips was the coach for the. Sorry, I wrote down the wrong name for the Portland Trail Blazers. So there you go. Basically, what is behind this is there were people within the organization revealing information to bettors on players involving Rozier and all that stuff. And there were people who were betting like 40,000 on bets, 20,000 on bets, and that they were making a profit within, the betting realm. And there were so many bets going through that these betting apps refused to accept bets.
Yeah, so that part was Terry Rozier, and then there's the whole Chauncey Billups part where he was playing illegal poker games with the gosh darn mafia.
Yeah. Mafia.
Where he was also saying when he's, hey, we've got this, Portland has this game coming up. I'll do this, and this, bet on it, And like, yeah, mainly with Rozier, especially, like, there were times where he would just like sub out of the game with a foot injury or something, and it's like there was no prior injury, there was no even injury report of him missing like practices and stuff. And then all of a sudden he's subbing out mid game. Like, it all seemed suspicious, and this had been, from everything I had seen on it, this has been like a 3-4 year FBI investigation that they finally were able to arrest Rozier, Billups, and there were like 30 other people arrested and indicted on this lawsuit.
Phillips and Rozier are the main guys with this from the NBA.
Yeah, in terms of the sports world, those are the two main guys. They're like, this is still an ongoing investigation, so for all we know, those, like, there could be a lot more to come out of this. But I think the funniest part of this whole thing for me was when they were talking about it, whether it was Thursday or Friday morning on ESPN on one of their talk shows. In the bottom by the ticker, while they're talking about this whole thing, they have an ESPN bet ad post going on, and just all of a sudden out of nowhere, they take the whole ticker off. I'm like, oh, they didn't realize what they did. But like, that's the problem, though. All these major markets are sponsored and just pushing sports gambling, and sports gambling has turned into a giant like thing in the U.S. in general, and now it's like, when you get a lot of people with money and you get everybody involved, somehow you're going to find a way to turn gambling into more of a thing. It just happens. But when it's professional athletes doing it, that's where the problems lie. And I hope something comes out of this that will prevent all of like this insider trading stuff with gambling.
I got a couple things to say, but LeBlanc, I want to hear your thoughts.
So I want to point out, there was a betting scandal not even like a year ago. Do you guys remember the name Jonte Porter?
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Didn't he play for the Raptors?
Yes, he did. Well, he was on a two-way contract. He played for the G League team mostly, but he was literally betting on himself, like for his props, or his assists, or his thing. And I want to, do you know what happened to Jonte Porter?
Yeah, he's banned from the NBA.
Banned for life. And I want to let this out here. If Rozier was doing this, Rozier will be banned for life as well.
Way. He will be.
You need to take the standard, which was this was the standard. You fuck with the sports books, and you bet on your sport and yourself specifically. You're banned for life. And I think if that's not the punishment, then it's what's we're looking for? It's
unserious league.
Yeah, like, I want to jump in real quick, James, because what you brought up with Jonte Porter is interesting, because Chauncey Billups in Detroit especially is a big figure because he was part of that 2004 championship for them. Chauncey Billups also is in the NBA Hall of Fame.
He is.
So if he was in part of this in any way, they're going to kick him. They have to kick him out of the Hall of Fame, right? Like, I'm not crazy for thinking this. Like, what do you do there? What do you do there?
You can't kick him out of the Hall. You kick him out of the Hall. I feel like you could ban him from coaching, though.
Oh, he's going to get banned from coaching if he's a part of this, but like, in the Hall, like, to be a Hall of Fame, like, I also go back to the Pete Rose thing in the MLB, because like Pete Rose and gambling. This whole Pete Rose and gambling thing is what prevented him from being in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yep.
So if you go off that standard, if you're a part of any gambling thing, no matter how good you were, you can't be in the Hall of Fame. So that precedent set, I feel like the NBA has to do something about that and maybe kick him out, but I don't know how that would go about.
Pete Rose was reinstated after he died.
He was, yeah.
This is a huge issue for a lot of reasons and a large magnitude of reasons. I'm going to speak here because I let you guys go. I need to speak. The downfall of this league in the last, I would say, 2 years needs to be studied. the amount of things that have happened with the tree company, with Kawhi Leonard, you have down viewership. Viewership is lower than what it's been. You, as well as that too, you see the younger players coming in there in the NBA aren't as exciting as the older guys, and there's a concern for the longevity of this league in terms of that. You also see this whole betting thing, and this has been issues for years. There's always problems going on in the NBA. Like, you want to go back to the 80s where they had their cocaine era. There was stuff with Michael Jordan and him with gambling and stuff, possibly, and all that
whole
stuff.
suspension, retirement, whatever that was.
Went to the MLB.
Murdered his father.
Yeah, like, there is so much bad in this league. And the amount of things that have gone on in the last few years, like, it's such a horrible look for the image for this league. Horrible look.
Yeah.
The NBA as well also had what's his name? Tim Donaghy, the ref.
Oh my
who
God!
was
Yes,
fixing games while he's reffing them because he had all these bets on the games, and that was back in the early 2000s and the 90s.
Early 2000s, like I was interviewed with Shaquille O'Neal, or you know him as Shaq, where in I don't know, in 04 there was a series between the Kings and the Lakers, and the Kings were up 3-2. And you know who the ref was for those games?
It was Donaghy.
And Shaq said in an interview, "Well, like, did you know?" Like, he's like, I knew we were going to advance because of the ref that was reffing that game. Like, he said, I knew we got those calls. Like, it's a whole thing. And like, as an NBA, as someone who does watch basketball from as much as I used to, but I've had to step away. Briefly, just because like there's just so much shit going on. There's so much shit going on, so much bad going on. Like, down viewership, there's the new stars that come in aren't they're not like they were. It's a whole new era of the league, and just they're not as exciting. Like, there's no, like, LeBron's not walking through that door and becoming 19 again. Like,
yeah,
and like,
I'm not going to act like the NHL doesn't have problems either.
No, like,
the NHL has our own problems, and I think we're all aware of that.
Yeah,
and we are a hockey podcast. This is probably going to be made into a clip. We're a hockey podcast. I want to say that.
Yeah.
But I look at what's going on in the NBA right now, and I'm like, how can anybody like look at this and be like, yeah, that's a league I want to watch. That's a league I support. This has been this shit's been going on for years, and I know the NHL has its problems too, but at least we discipline people. We actually discipline our people for the most part.
Like, the first time we had any sort of like betting scandal, they made an example out of it with Pinto. It was half the season.
Yeah, they made it huge. Yeah,
you made an example out of it. I'm sorry for bringing it up, James, but like, it goes along with the point.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
They made it was the first experience of it, and they made an example out of it. You want to do this? Here's the precedent. It's half your season.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem.
The problem is this: like, let's say, like, I think Rozier and Billups are in like deeper shit than Jontay Porter was. Jontay Porter was betting on it. Like, I could have been just like a suspension. I couldn't, but no, like the fact that now that he's banned from the league. I'm not defending him in any way, but that seems like it's a little harsh. Like, but like,
well, with
Billups and Rozier are in deeper shit than he is, and I guess they made an example of Jontay Porter, so they have to make an example of both of them now.
You have to make him.
This is
did he get jail time?
Porter? No, Porter did not get jail time.
These guys are going to get jail time.
Yeah, no.
Most likely, because they were arrested by the FBI, they will most likely be getting jail time too.
Like, it'd be one thing if like you were arrested by the cops. The FBI, you're fucked. Like,
100%.
Like, you're going to jail. Like,
we talk about
Patella something.
They were in like rings. These are like illegal crime rings.
Yeah.
And
it's one thing to bet on yourself and these things like
they're gonna act, especially like Rozier. I feel they're gonna act like they were oblivious to it, but no, like you can't be.
No, they knew what was going on.
They're going to jail, and that might be their punishment: going to jail.
Yeah,
I think and it makes it really hard to like follow this league and get into it. Just like seeing all this negative stuff coming out of it. I'm worried.
It's a black mark for sure on the league.
Oh
and
yeah.
I don't want to point the finger, but I love to point the finger.
You do.
Adam Silver, I think he's done some really good stuff for the NBA, but he's done some very bad stuff for the NBA. This is a black mark on his record.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Is this? I want to pose this question to you guys. Is this the biggest league-wide scandal since the Chicago Black Sox almost a century ago?
Ooh.
And
are we talking
for the context for the viewers who don't understand that context? The Chicago Black Sox. This was back in early 1900s. Through the entire World Series. Intentionally threw it because of gambling at that time. Is this as bad as that?
I have an example. It's not a National League. It's from the NCAA. Tim, you might know about this, but do you remember the Boston College point shaving scandal from the late 70s, early 80s? There's a whole ESPN 30 for 30 about it.
I don't know that one.
The mafia got in with the Boston College basketball team, and they had a point shaving scandal. And there's a whole entire team got arrested. So they had guys in there who got NBA tryouts, and they had to get pulled from that because of what happened. That was huge at the time. That really regulated betting in the NCAA until now we have the sports books. But yeah, I think it's just huge. Like, I think it's of that. I don't think it's of the magnitude of the Black Sox scandal, because that Black Sox scandal was. I know it wasn't. It was bad then, but there's movies about that shit. There's movies about it. There's multiple books about it. This is serious, but I don't think it's like the magnitude of that. They will get more consequences for this. Yes, they will. Though.
Yeah, 100%. This is going to be something we're going to be following here throughout the podcast. I do want to say I really liked bringing in this Hot Topics thing because we can talk about other things around sports instead of
it allows us to talk about a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, and I think this is something that I'm going to be monitoring, and we're going to be following here. And this 100%. Again, like we see with the World Junior scandal, and then the whole thing with the Mitch Love thing that just came out today with the Capitals, like those things are going to take time because they are going to go through the judicial system. They're going to go through the courts. They're going to go through trials. This is going to take time. And we're going to be following this the whole way through. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
And
so there you go.
I just want to point out one thing. Yes, you're in deep shit, but innocent until proven guilty. That's how the justice system is going to work. That's what it always has been.
Yep.
So,
there you go. But it's looking like they're guilty.
It is, yeah, but you can't it's never guilty until proven innocent, though. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, I totally agree. One more thing I want to bring up here before we wrap up the show. LSU head coach Brian Kelly was informed of the school's intention to dismiss him from his position today. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
LSU is now the hottest coaching job on the market right now.
Probably, yeah.
LSU is now all of a sudden they're finding every donor, investor, whatever they have, and they're asking every single one of them for money. They're going to try to get as much money as they can. In my opinion, I think for Lane Kiffin, who's the coach at Ole Miss. Other than that, I don't know. For Brian Kelly, this couldn't have happened to a worse person. Or, no, I said that wrong. This couldn't have happened to a better person. Brian Kelly, I do not like. There's this whole thing back when he was at Notre Dame where I still never saw the full thing, but whatever happened, it resulted in a student athlete of his dying. So there's that. He's also just a prick. He's not like the most well-liked guy in college football circles anyways. So personally, this, you knew it was coming because he had the whole messy end of his contract situation at Notre Dame. for him to take this LSU job. He left out of nowhere. And now for him to be fired as a certified Brian Kelly hater, I love this.
I'm not of the Tim persuasion. I think Brian Kelly's a good football coach. He'll land somewhere on his feet. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. I don't know a lot about him. I just wanted to bring that up because I know you guys are more into that than I am.
But Tim is right. He is a prick. I'll give him that. Yeah, he's a prick.
Last thing. We don't really talk that much about NASCAR, but my dad's a big NASCAR guy. Congratulations to Lando Norris for winning the Mexican Grand Prix. So there you go. My dad texted me today. He's like, bring that up on the podcast. I'm like, all right, I will.
We'll fit it in somewhere.
Congratulations, Lando Norris, after talking about scandals and overreacting about NHL teams. Okay, that was a great episode of the MVP. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. We will be back next week. I do also want to say we have something special dropping on Wednesday. It is a Jeopardy that is going to be coming out. We also have a tier list that is going to come out here soon, too. Tier ranking our teams through October, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, that is it for us. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next episode.
Ciao.
I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Man, I just do what I do. To know if I do, I just do what I do. Check. That's the intro. See that? Yeah. I just do what I do. See me? I just do what I do. Yo, check. Let me flip this script. I feel privileged for all who can witness this. I am close to divine. Know the moment is mine, need no omen or sign. Providing a back sound to all the squares that ask around. Be getting it, my skills pay me. Trying to get a million, baby, with an adopted flow that God gave me. Tell whoever runners that they spot is temporary till I take it, it's mine. I'm selfish, your will. Tell Miss I'm on my wealth tip. So when we cash out soon, I'm just investing. No yes men, I've been a legend since before mom and dad had me and was best friends. I chew through comp, don't test them. I chew on tracks cause after that I bless them.